Hey guys, thought I'd pop in for a bit. Honestly, kind of don't want to. Um, I am going to be harder to understand in here. Um, I know those who've spoken to me throughout the day, and yesterday night they couldn't quite understand me. Probably not even on some of the recordings and things I had to make today and send off places. Not feeling so hot. Things are getting a little worse here and there. Um, this morning, um, woke up to continued bullshit seemingly caused by, well, it's a 3 day combo caused by Bones, it looks like, and, usual Fred and Monster. But this is a 3 part thing that falls back into a live that was done by Bones and him the other day, and all the things. So it's been 3 days of the bullshit, coming to the door one way or the other. And yeah, all I can tell you is today when it happened, I damn near ripped somebody's arm off and shoved it up their ass. So not a real good mood. Um, and then all that's part of the recordings that were sent off to others today. So yeah. Anyway, more of the compiling, right? The real life terror caused by online bullshit. By people trying to make it so or whatnot, one way or the other. Whatever, right? So, yesterday night, um, slash, yeah, I mean, technically, because now we've crossed over here at least. So, yeah, sort of yesterday night, late going into yesterday morning, Watched another piece that featured Monster, blah, blah, blah. I hear something I hadn't heard, because believe it or not, I didn't stick around and listen to all that shit after I caught it line. In the first 12 seconds, I was done defending it, done whatever, said what I needed to say, done chat. Said, fuck it. Fuck that. So, checked out, left, and listened to more of it. So, yesterday night slash this morning, listening to it's fucking bullshit via someone else is a bit easier for me than hearing it straight out with the other two. It's really essentially like the other day having 3 attempted murders in a virtual box all at one time, out fuckering one another, right? All three of which are absolutely useless, dangerous ass motherfucking individuals. One trying to formulate and get its mask all situated in the public, because that's really its only concern, continuing to abuse profit out in the open, trying to build up for what's getting ready to come or think it's getting ready to. The other one trying to probably figure out what type of suspect it is. And the other one just raging and, well, just throwing shit like a monkey, like it's always done. In Summer's case here online on YouTube, not caring about how fucking dangerous it is. And not necessarily not caring, it's fully aware of how dangerous what it's done from the beginning is. Just doesn't give a fuck. None of those three have any fucking soul. All of them are pieces of shit, all in the same virtual box. Welcome to the show, folks. All three absolutely legally attempted murderers of one variety or another. Here in True Crime, hunting down real criminals. So anyway, it's fucking ludicrous at best. Fucking disgusting. So I didn't have no need to listen much. Try not to. And after I caught the one line, fuck it. Yeah. But anyway, so I listened via someone else as it played it yesterday night. It's fucking hard to do. I seen it, explode on the opportunity to finally get something installed on all they've been trying to do for 2 years, well over 2 years now, out in the open, but couldn't quite manage, didn't want to try to use it as a form of embarrassment. Lot of, do whatever to me, but, I've been sort of prepared for that moment, and I never really cared about it like this place did, because, doctors are involved in that decision, oncology, all these other things. It's well aware of it, too, and really, all it managed to do in its rage and temper at me with outing what it thought was something, whoa, just like the rest of this group this whole time, actually comes back around and bites it and its family and that property in the ass if I so choose to out the rest of the forms of abuses. But anybody with half a brain should go, wait a minute, why would that be necessary? So in its temper, trying to abuse online and using much the same method as, say, like Don, when he come out and was like, Candace don't share it much as the other, right? That was to distract you all from the truth of the shower with the children and shit, right? And that's what y'all did. You took that and you ran with it instead of the fact of the kids in the shower, didn't you? Exactly. And the whole Candace don't cook, but then you don't stop to think, why is that? Why do these things exist exactly? Right? Yeah, right. But anyway, so essentially what Monster did in his temper, and something he installed, wanted to get out for the longest time like this group. And it's been here the whole time, really, an undercurrents, but something I never gave 3 shits about, is all he did in that effort was fuck himself and gave me an avenue to then out in the public realm, out everything, if I so choose. With pictures, video, audio, paperwork, all kinds of pretty lovely things over decades. It gave me the avenue to then touch base with certain other folks. All in the, because temper monster. And trying to, fuck with victims and survivors while it tried to cleanse itself again. Yep. So we'll see how that goes. And there also seems to be now a theme with certain monsters in that family wanting to blame dead people or just whatever, or pick at them or cast light on them. I don't know, but I'd suggest my brother be left the fuck alone by Monster and the others. Now, there was no point in that, but either way, I mean, that too opens up a whole nother realm where we can start talking about how certain people in that family love torturing, tormenting, abusing, harming, and hurting those who are dead or dying. I mean, we could just all go there. we can go as far as saying it's maybe time to start um, closing real cases on the rat monsters. I'm sick of being fucked with. And I know some of the creators want me to hear the whole nobody deserved that when Bones was all like, I can see why you beat her, and I'm told nobody deserves it. Yeah, fuck you, bro. I've heard better in person. No. And then there was a moment I guess I was supposed to hear, oh, it's so sincere when he's like, I just wanted it over so I could move on. Yeah, I've heard that tone too, a million times. The only time you almost hear that, uh, attempted feels is, when it's about itself. And if you think about that little bit of, oh, look at you, but it really feels, um, it's really doing that for itself. Because, like it tells you, it just wanted to move on. It thought when it left there, la la la. Yeah, it just didn't assume survivors and things, fighters of it still, would ever be heard outside of this community where he abused us for so long. It still does out in the fucking open for profit, with this helpful little homemate and this group. Um, where people here turn blind eyes, condoned, giggled with until it was like, shit, this scenario. And he enjoyed free reign, even out in public settings, abusing the shit out of us. So, but once it was worldwide, well, that changed it, didn't it? And he wanted to move on, forget, because you see, that's what monsters do. They're not the ones left to wear the scars, the bruises, the anything, because they sleep just fine even when you're bleeding outside of them. Because they're the ones that cause the wounds, they sleep just fine. They are capable of that. Just moving on, forget about it, let it go, living their best life, right? Um, the survivors of them, the fighters of them are not. Now, I hate certain people are up in their little fields still about being held accountable, about people not being broken by them, becoming doormats, going silent. I hate that for them. I hate that they're still in the fields, that their survivors and fighters are going to continue to try to rip the mask off and keep it off, especially as long as they're still being abused openly and for profit and attempting to be harmed, murdered, etc. La, 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 out in the open with creators. I hate that for them. Not my problem. Should have probably never came here to do any such thing because they were worried about their masks before they were some or anything else. Well, let's not forget the recordings of screaming at folks about how they wanted to make money. And they give three deadly fucks about some or otherwise. It's just about the money. So, y'all want to eat and buy the, oh, look, it had emotion. You go right ahead. I don't give a fuck. I live with it. And if you think about it real hard, it's not about summer. It's not, I wish I could give them their little girl a little love, find her. I just want this so I can move on. It ain't about summer. It's about how its survivors and fighters speak in its mask. That pretend emotion is only felt for itself. Because for once, sort of, in a way, it's being held accountable and the world knows what it is. And it wants that to stop. Meanwhile, I can see that what it's done is made a complete clothing swap into everything I begged and asked for all the decades. Um, because it knows that is what is needed of it to be and to look like, right? So now it's made the full swap into that clothing. I'm like, oh, bless it. It's done every little thing and become all the little things that are asked and required of it, you know, to pull the big mask on the whole world. with a team back there. Did y'all notice all the little timeouts and the 5 seconds and this and all that shit like the other creators do, and like our others on panel when they time out or go away for, I don't know, others contact them, figure out what they're supposed to be doing, get the messages in. That way they know what question to ask next. You wonder if certain monsters weren't paid to go ask questions of a certain Fred, like the phone thing, other things, to essentially eat bread. You wonder. Right? Everybody's supposed to act cool, let it ride. Monster's essentially the one conducting the interview. Man. Seems odd, didn't it? Yeah. Anyway, I'm not here about Monster. Just a few things in there that probably be needed and added here. At least the way I see it. So anyway, for me, I'm up again, as always. Middle of the night, nothing unusual there. Slept for a bit. First thoughts, as always, are centered on the fires and puzzles that matter. Not this place, not the bullshit, not the fucking garbage, not all the chaos and mud and jello they've grown and thrown out here in and around Summer and all of us for so many years. But the true fires, puzzles. I had another basic bitch duh moment. Seems to be happening a bit right now, a little more frequently. Yeah, I assume for the same reason I have for the past few days, couple weeks anyway, since the fall had after Ziggy and Fred's bullshit. Now I'm not quite coming back from that. And things are getting a little worse every fucking day. So, anyway, um, I, I wake up and this basic bitch moment hits. Wait a minute. And maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's I don't know. Thing is, you know, the interview, right? I go back to it. And I knew when it occurred, but never paid attention to it. Didn't understand till what last fall. That's where everybody's stuck. I was shocked to know that. Like the rest of this realm. It was like, so wait, this is really like the shit. Like this is where, you know, lands on the dog trail and basement bullshit, right? But that interview, by the time that happened, I know at least C was aware that the screen time would sort of break anything with him, right? Sort of. Definitely aware. But Don continued with it. Candace at a certain point started trying to distance from it. They over here online at a certain point. After Dawn goes to jail, she tries to move back. Even then, she tries to move back her timeline to fit it. Once they figure out the time. But what she knew, at least by that point, was it didn't like, but I don't think they realized how far, you know. But Dawn and that. And I guess for what he'd held the longest time as is whatever it was for the dog trail shit. Story or idea, thought, belief, hell, who knows really. Narrative, or weaving of something, I don't know. Because it definitely was that, at least in some ways. But it hits me. It's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know, Dawn, as long as I can remember, I've always heard like 5:30 thing with him, you know? Always. He's always certain about this 5:30 thing. Name jump up on that. Go on with the many twists and bullshit around the 5:30 thing. Spent a week on that alone. But, the thing is, Dawn at least became aware that time did not match any of that, right? Times collided, they clashed. Couldn't make that work. Not if, not if he believed Candace, like he proclaimed. And the reason I say that is because Don at a certain point was very well aware of the time of the screen. But he still tried to weave it in. Or stuck with it, depending on which time period you have there. Right. He tried to weave the way in which we all heard the screams. Right? Because we all heard it in, you know, different ways for different lengths. You know, I wouldn't necessarily say different ways, but different lengths of time and these sort of things, right? But it would mean that you know, Don took what one of us heard and put it at the front, so that would have been at the back, you know, of everything, and left one out and did this and the other to fit the story or what was in his head or his theory or I don't know, whatever you want to call it about the dog trail. But that would mean that Dawn would have to believe that there's a chance. There's a chance that Candace is lying or somebody's lying about how long Summer was gone before being reported. Now, wouldn't it? A whole lot easier to explain, 4:30, 4:42 to say like a 5:30 thing and reporting and all this supposed searching and all this shit, right? And then it is going 4:30, 4:42 to what dispatch calls are at least known publicly because of people recording scanner feed and such. Those are at almost 6:30. But it gets harder, right? When somebody is public and then the time's known, which we were not public. Nobody knew out here the time of anything yet for the world to realize something wasn't quite right there. Much like the first recordings, Candace talking about it, we're within, 24 hours. And she was recorded talking about it, going, "Oh, the reason we went here is because I and the boys were, TV, blah, 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 already searching for ages, whatever. Time moved on and things changed. When I became aware of the dog trail thing being the firm thing, like last year, and I was like, what the, then suddenly it became that camp going, well, maybe she did just get mad and walk away. That's a fuck? Seriously? Okay. And of course, it's the DCS kidnapped. Then some sort of organ hoopla involved overseas shit, and I don't know, whatever else. So, to me, though, if you know when you're doing that interview, whatever, that already that, scream wouldn't fit there, I'm gonna try to use it. But I continue to do so for the longest period, even after the public knows it doesn't really add up. Keep saying 5:30, 5:30, 5:30. I don't know. There's always many things to think about there, but very least you think it at least meant that Dawn didn't maybe believe Candace's something or somebody's timeline. And there was a possibility of Summer being gone long before she was reported, or he was told, or police told. I don't know. A little weird. On top of that, I heard something this morning when I was skipping about another piece. Made me think of something. Um, Something I've known, right? Didn't need any experts or otherwise to be like, yeah, you know, monsters, people, certain types, they have a tendency to do this thing, right? A certain type of story, a repetitive one throughout their lives, or something they rely on, and then they build from it each time. It's essentially the same story. But then, depending on the need, it changes just enough to be whatever suits that time. But I'm like, okay, kind of knew this. But once again, it brought up the fact that the same story of the dog trail area, somebody taking something in a short window of time and the weirdest of, like, windows and all this, right? Broad daylight and otherwise. I've heard it from the same people for many years. Depending on, yeah, but it's always the same damn story. Somebody parked here, somebody went up there, somebody took something precious in this really short window of time. You know, always a setup with that shit too to make it look like they're entirely innocent and other people are bad guys, but then you realize it's not really the case. And attempts to get in front of all those people before they can be reported, they'll try to set them up cold to do certain shit. Yeah, that's what monsters do. And so in that, with the dogtail thing, it's like, shit, I've heard this story before, bro. A million times. A million times. Got proof of it, too. As I've shown here before. Does that mean it's, you know, not whatever the fuck on June 15th? No, but it just seems rather convenient. It's the same goddamn story as a million times before. you know, so I find that odd. Not KP. But, for the last couple of years, listening to these dipshits, these motherfuckers who can't remember shit, don't know times. Everybody's having too much of a good time. People are banging the stall pump. Other motherfuckers weren't even in the road. Yeah, all that. KP, it's never asked for or demanded anything. But, if ever you all feel the need, you can. It's there. But appreciate it. So anyway, um, listening to all of them. Right? It's like even this Fred and Bones shit, man. When it first started with Monster being in the road, it's garbage for months. It's nothing but chaos and mud and shit. I could have come out and stopped it. I could stop it still. I could render it absolutely fucking ridiculously stupid, like it's always been. I have defended Monster in that area because I know what the fuck Fred was shown. Now, as to why, I don't know, but I have my ideas on, and having those ideas and thoughts, it's sort of best to keep all that anyway. I think because we don't really have a book or any guidance to go by. So common sense and logic says, hey, these could be the reason Fred was shown certain things. You know, all I can tell you is I know about these certain things because I've seen them before. Even Ellie and Feds did. Fred and making such a big deal out of this shit along Bones and the road thing has actually been here trying to figure out what level of sus he is or what's been shown to him and why. He's trying to figure it out what the fuck is really going on. He's worried about it, maybe. Or became worried about it when he realized, nope, that wasn't the case for everyone, bro. And I'm gonna bet Fred still has no idea what was actually done or why certain things may have been shown to him. I don't really care. All I know is he was shown something for a reason. I know that if he went and was like, yeah, at the very least, it fucked his credibility sideways. On any level, should people, somebody is willing to fuck around and lie about, sling shit at people that didn't belong, especially considering, all the other things surrounding Fred. But the thing is, all I could ever do, and all I'm going to continue to do, is be like, nope, Monster wasn't in there on the 15th before near 7 o'clock. That's the truth, at least as far as I know it. Messages sort of show there's no block. Vastly open. Pretty sure, anywhere he actually was that day would have been at work or with stall pump. And GPS don't show back that up. Data, coworkers, obviously stalled, blah, blah, blah. Camera feeds from all kinds of places, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Unlike, I'd say, for other characters. All of them are useless. All Monster and Stall and Fred and those have been are goddamn distractions. Feed. Way to create drama these creators could make millions on while terrorizing I and my children, creating more drama and terror. Hashtagging Summer's name and everything, of course. While they've given room for one monster to abuse their survivors and fighters online, another one running amok, probably trying to figure out why in the fuck, or get info and use this realm to do it and fuck with other people out here in the real world too, and all these other things, but probably at a certain level, since Fred and Laura love so much to have their noses straight in devices immediately upon Summer vanishing. Much like he was the one, even though him and Bones had formulated this whole, they were doing it their driveway, that's sus. No, bitch, what's sus is you kept coming to our fucking driveway. And we knew immediately, like you even hear Monster say. And like I've told you for the longest time, both of us looked at each other and went, oh, here he comes. He's after shit. Whistling for the imaginary dog. Here comes old Freddy Britches. Bitch, it wasn't us going to his driveway because you see I'd be sus. See him coming to ours for days. Especially after events concerning him would happen or pop off or he'd be worried about something. Then he'd make his way on down to, all our driveways where all of us, were coming in and out at certain times or down there to meet certain detectives or law enforcement at certain times, staying walking down the hills or on our way out for brief periods to get food or groceries or something like that. Poof, there it was. Wasn't us going to Fred to siphon info or to try to get shit or, I know it was Fred coming to all of us trying to get that to our driveways. But boy, they've done there. Oh, Jody Sue and them, old Monster, else they were at their driveways just trying. No, we were doing what we were supposed to be doing, man. We weren't hanging out there. You remember his story about how we slept there in the driveway? and would have children bring us food down and all this other bullshit. That never happened, but he and Bones wanted to make it look a certain way. So to try to distract from the fact that common sense and logic should tell you it wouldn't be weird for us to be at the bottom of our driveways. Let alone ain't nobody was sleeping or eating in the bottom of the driveways, bro. Yeah. The only thing weird that y'all were distracted from is why Fred kept making his way to all of our driveways. And where the law enforcement detectives not were actually asking the questions. Right? Needing things from us to hopefully find the answers for Summer. Right? Only visits Fred kept getting were from Dawn and I guess weird shit and being asked to, I don't know, identify vehicles on days. Right? Wasn't us, bro. Wasn't us flipping out, going to other driveways and other people being freaked the fuck out after scents popped up in places they shouldn't have been. It wasn't us, man. That was a Fred. Y'all ignored it. The whole time all this narrative's been spun for you all to make people look certain. Right? While the one making other people look certain ways is sitting right there, going, oh, that's weird. Somebody was at the bottom of their driveway and yeah, and you skip past the fact that one lives all the way back now and kept making his way downtown to all of us. Why? Exactly like Monster and I told you the first time seeing it, motherfucker. It's like, oh, here he comes. He's gonna try to get info. He's trying to do the things. Alright? And he's still trying to do that through this realm because, well, he can't stick his phone directly in a device, can he? To get it like he's done since Summer vanished. While being so freaked out, he mostly stayed out of the road. No. Unlike the rest of this fucked up crew, wouldn't any of us stay an asshole deep to a giraffe in social media. If we had been, probably would have realized this realm existed and to avoid it at all costs. But it didn't matter. We were already being sold off here by all these motherfuckers, which is what helped get us hunted so thoroughly. The C&Ds and the bullshit, the Monster X pseudo MILs and all the stupid. And then by long-time stalkers had for years by their own admittance here and, well, everything else. And that I have proof of doing so a couple times throughout those couple years. Being absolutely batshit. That then inevitably helped Monster and his group file fake lawsuits and all so shit. Plus a squall in there, same shit, different day. But all of it, at least this morning. But as it often does, I restart from the beginning on June 15th. Sometimes even months before that. It just depends on the pieces and the way the fires things are turning, but all things are always in there stirring. We'll walk back through June 15th, especially in the darkness like this, late at night. Depends on the night and how calm it is. Which bit of bullshit's been wherever that day. Don't know. But I walked back through it all over and over and over again. I walked back through it in the way that I know I was thinking and the thoughts and the way I viewed pieces at that time. And when I, attributed certain things as at that time versus now and having more pieces to go along with, and then I'm comparing and find, you know, claw out more from my brain. And go back through it every day. In ways. In ways. But this morning, sitting on it, however you want to view it, for hours kind of stared into the darkness, just everything on replay. The basics. Just going back to basics. You have to always keep in mind the way that I perceived things, thought of things, felt about things as they occurred versus what I then became aware of later on that, you know, keys dropped, answers were had, things became known, how things changed in my viewing of certain things, and so you have to walk it in a double way. Replay it and keep in mind how you felt, and what you thought right in those moments and in real time versus what you now, you know, feel about, think about, etc. And it's very hard to keep those separate, but it's very possible. Um, and I think it's essential to be able to do that. You have to sort of splinter yourself to do that. Um, it's almost in a way that I separated or made sure not to listen to too much to others throughout most of this walk. It's a way in which I can hopefully keep from almost self-contaminating, you know what I mean? Um, or at least figured out which is what when, or things have become biased on my end, or pebbles, or but it's sort of essential that one be able to splinter themselves in that way. I think to be able to walk beside of past me and current and go, okay, this is and this is. Let's make sure you're not, and that there's always area there to compare and not to get stuck in, you um, dead mindset of it has to be this now. You know. Anyway, it takes a whole lot of sitting with oneself and splintering. But this fucking circus here has made it hard. Most likely on purpose and asked for to be done by quite a few groups, camps, teams, I don't know. Right? A bunch of people wanting to fuck up shit from the beginning on purpose for some fucking reason or the other. From literally the night Summer vanished. I don't find that funny or cute. Some here, I think, are just, I don't know. I know Monster and Stalk, the whole thing, it's always been about them versus Summer because the only reason here behind the scenes is to keep Monster's mask on. Continually perpetuating the abuse for profit, doing whatever with this group. All Monster, the thing is, Monster has nothing really had. No true info on June 15th, never has. The only value Monster's ever had here is to torment the living shit out of Aunt and Little and to target the fuck out of us for this group for many reasons and to try to discredit whatever and for his and Stahl's needs, which is to keep his fucking mask on. And when they figured out they could profit from abusing us online and targeting us and doing whatever and tormenting, well, by God, paid well enough to do that and for him to get by with it. And then out front, now he's pretty goddamn bold about it. Trying to do the button up collar shit, much like the rest, trying to cleanse themselves, pretend they're different people than they were. I ain't got time for none of this shit. The way in which Fred matters is he really knows what the fuck. See, he's only been in here slinging bullshit for several years. Targeting, throwing shit, whatever. In worse ways than even C&D, honestly. But I think at the core, once he figured out that shit was wrong, probably trying to figure out what was wrong with mine, if he was being looked at harder than others. And that way, you all in this room have helped him do that. Even while he's been incarcerated, he didn't have access to online, only to phones. Through a way, he's been able to be connected and to hear the shit coming in, what may be shaking out here. Yeah, I don't know. Phone shit the other night. Who knows whether it's true or not? Whether they took Fred's, because like I said, him and Laura definitely had devices. I would say they didn't have 40, but they definitely had devices and straight in them. Being all whatever, everywhere, watching everything online. So, but Monster ain't wrong. They didn't take nobody else. I didn't do that. I don't even think they took CDs, but for a brief period, in order to hard download them or whatever, and handed them right back. And ours were never done that way. Ours were always open to them. They seen them in real time, went through everything with them, had no problem handing over everything they needed. We've been told devices are hotter than fuck. I believe that. I know in 2021, 22, 23, and now 24, that the NSA and, um, you know, tech and all this other, it exists. Patriot Act, it exists. Um, Also, they don't need to have your device in hand, have everything coming and going from it 24 hours a day, right? It's not essential. The only reason they really take devices anymore is to hard pull them. That's about it. That way they have their own version of hard timestamps. That's about it. But yeah, it wasn't something done to everybody. Much like not everybody was shown pictures from certain things for whatever. Seems to be mostly a Fred thing too there, I'll tell you. Now me, the only reason I know what's on those pictures or how Fred may have been fucked up or whatever is because I happen to know about certain things and seeing certain things for even law enforcement vets do. In that way, I could come out here. And I tried to in ways, the Freddy fingered Fred bids and shit, to go. And to break that the fuck down before it ever became a chaos maker around here. Two target monster. You're welcome, asshole. Dumbass. Imagine spending all this time trying to just get not chaos and mud because of that one and the Yahoo bullshit and Bones and the other one's Yahoo bullshit to where it can't be picked up around here. Monster's too short-sighted and too dumb and too concentrated on him and the mask to think about, wait, why in the hell is she doing these videos like Fred fingered Fred? Well, because right's right and wrong's wrong. And to know that pieces like that are, done so it shuts shit down before they can become chaos makers and this face-off bullshit, right? And for months, they help us inevitably target everyone else, and only monsters benefit off of, not Summer in any way, not her case, not truth, not light, not getting to the bottom of anything, not unwinded. What the hell this group and people around it have done since the very moments after, it was known to be that she was missing and alerts released for her. So, you know, but I could have come out and I still can. But in doing so in a full manner would mean that it gives people like the Freds and the Bones in this room more info than they should have, which could be detrimental to Summer. All I can do is say just enough to go, okay, this is fucked. Please do not go with this narrative and chaos maker of, I don't know, Fred and Bones, this type of shit. And then they still continue and people follow blindly. And then here we are this far out. Then you have this stupid shit take place the other night. When all of it was stupid as fuck from the beginning. Stupid as shit. That they went on for the longest fucking periods. For a motherfucker, y'all know damn good and well, like common sense and logic said, hey, if he was in there and on cameras and shit, he would be in fucking cuffs, bro. Like, why you be lying, you know? All this other shit. It's stupid. Y'all could put together all the times yourselves just from the messages and things and common sense and logic. You know, this entire shit with Bones and Fred was always stupid. Always. And it was to manufacture and create chaos. And for him to possibly get info in and out and to stay on top of what's being said or done online, among other things. And you see Monster installing, I think about themselves too, much like always. And that one's Mask and rebuilding character to try to be bought and believed by the public. Oh, shucks, I'm not that bad of a guy, but if you shake a cage, and you're gonna get what you deserve. Yeah, you see, there's the real monster. You know, still thinks that in its brain, you know, tells Ziggy, you know, and she's like, I see why you be. Nobody deserves that. But yet, in its head, it's still like, oh, if you shake a dog's cage, then eventually you're gonna get bit. Yeah. So see, I still deserved what I got. There's your monster for you. There's where it can't hide the little drops of what it is and will always be. It's too old. There's no true change. There will never be. It will never be anything other than it is. It will always be a danger. It will always be an abuser, mask wearer, hider, piece of shit. I don't care who it wants to make believe it's changed or it's different or everything was all just blah, blah, blah. It was toxic. No, bitch, it wasn't. It wasn't. The only toxicity that was ever there was because of its actions and bullshit and because its victims wouldn't just let it go. You know? And, you know. Well, I didn't beat you today. You should shut the fuck up about it. I know you're wearing bruises from yesterday, but you should just let it go, and I should be able to be an addict all I want. And I know you don't condone or like you and that shit. Well, you know, bro. You know, oh well. Right? I hate that for you. But anyway, they've never had anything to add other than chaos and bullshit and harm everything in the pursuit of keeping a mask on and to torment and terrorize us. It's the only value they've ever held here online. To anyone, any of these creators, otherwise Monster makes not a shit to summer June 15th. None of that. None of it. So why in the world would it be here all this time behind the scenes and in front? Well, exactly like I just told you. For it installed to make money, abuse us, target us, try to get us murdered with the rest of this fucking group. All of them have a good time at it. You know, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, it holds no value. Only thing it's ever managed to do is stall. Much like real life, even before someone managed just to fuck everything up. And to be a fucker. And a monster. And this place is allowed to profit handsomely off of that. And try to keep its little mask on. It's supported an abuser, attempted murderer, a child abuser. Y'all have watched it happen, otherwise it holds no fucking anything. June 15th. It's weird, isn't it? How much attention you all give to those that don't really make hill beans to shit, you know, for anything. Y'all are so distracted by their damn drama. And those who've ever come out to speak truth, who hold real shit, are in some regards, at least, at the very least, hold and place and make the timeline for summer on June 15th. Y'all have eaten them fucking alive. And you've allowed monsters and abusers and these creators to do that. Each and every time. Each and every time a real person has spoken, that's what you all do. You uphold those filling you full of bullshit, Freds, monsters, all the others. All for their own reasons, of course. Well, you eat the footprint, or you eat me, you eat other neighbors, witnesses, types of shit. And you eat, destroy other children, target them that are real witnesses around Summers, real life that really matter in a real way, and are part of events and timelines and shit. Strange, isn't it? To me, it seems rather purposeful. This group makes millions off of it, and off of y'all being easily distracted and helping to eat others, while you don't eat the ones that should be eaten entirely off the platform, and otherwise, who are creating the bullshit in their interview. But it seems rather weird to me that this has been the case since the beginning, at least online. That every person who is real or has something to add, or real witnesses, or real statements, and real things, they get targeted into fucking oblivion by certain groups, teams, online cretins who profit more if they can continue to, you know, fuck up active and ongoing cases and also keep you from listening to what is really simple. And they get y'all confused, fucked up, mixed up, conspiracy bullshit, all this other crap instead, concentrating on, oh, Candace doesn't shower that often. No, she don't cook. And oh, this one deserves to be beat and everything, all the bullshit in between, right? Instead of the actual basics about summer, June 15th, everything else. Benefits all of them, and I'd say it benefits somebody out there to also have everybody that's real witnesses, real people around, targeted into fucking oblivion for other reasons. Now, I'd love to tell you that'd be like LE or something on the scenes going shut the fuck up. The thing is, LE knows, feds know, at any time they could put gag orders in there. They could be like, shut the fuck up, please. You know, they don't have to go about all this extra. Somebody else is conducting this shitty orchestra. Alright. I think there's several conducting this shitty orchestra from the beginning for years now on several different fronts. Well, actually, I don't think, I know. So there's that. There's a big difference in I think versus on fucking know, and also I hold proof of. So there's that. It ain't an I think situation, it's a I fucking know, and so do you all if you use common sense and logic. Shit, what's been done right out in front of y'all is entertainment, Y'all know. Y'all know. Great deal many of you have played in it too. Helped it along. would like, uh, once it got too serious, you realize you wound up to be all the way out of it, too, of course. But you can't quite escape what you've done, what you're still doing. You know, all of you trying to skirt away from it, not be held accountable ever for it. Hate that for you. It's not my problem. That's your all's. Yeah, I'll go back. Not to you all, not to all the bullshit, targeting, those puzzles and fires and all the things, they hold a different place and time for me to work. But I'll go back to what one time was an average Tuesday. I go back through the days, several things bring me out of the cabin because they're just a little too odd or strange or whatever. Don't really spend long on any of those. There's nothing really there any of the times. But then eventually you have like the scream rate. You spend a few more minutes on it than the other things that were strange or weird that day. You wait, you look, you don't see anything that you're like, hey, okay then. You let it go, sort of. Till your mind starts turning. When you start hearing yells for summer at a certain point, quite a bit later. You hear those As you're typing the last messages to Monster, trying to force him to stop banging the next door bathroom whore and get his fucking ass home so you can go get something to eat and get shit done. I actually have more than one day out of allotted time that week. You hear the calls for summer. You hit the last send, 609. You walk down your driveway. You keep waiting on Summer to answer, or some of the voices to go, oh, okay, hi, Summer, there you are, whatever. And it doesn't happen, does it? You start realizing something's really wrong. Summer's always answered, so the rest of the children, by a few calls in, she's not answered. The increase in certain things are picking up, by the time you reach the bottom of your driveway, you just feel like this isn't right. And what about these things? Earlier I heard these. She's hurt. She's been left behind. Holy shit, that was quite a while ago. You know, you wander directly across, you look down, and you don't see her down there anywhere. Calls for increase, pick up. Something really isn't right. You start trying to yell upward and go, hey, I'm down here, I'm looking, I don't see it, nothing, just trying to help, man. But things, even then, aren't quite right. Things that should have been heard aren't heard. You realize that, but what you don't stop to think about at that exact time, but it hits your mind and sticks, is that, you know, as you're yelling for others, going, hey, I'm down here, I'm looking, I don't see her down here, blah, blah. You hear her bells moving up on top of the hill. At a few points, because you think, well, they're not hearing me because of my voice and how fucked up it is and how it's cutting in and out. Certain tone ranges, and you're frustrated, but thing is, your mind picks up on the fact that certain people do actually hear you because their footsteps pause, but they don't reply. You're not sure why that is, but even in real time, it catches your attention enough to stick. You find it strange, it stops footsteps when you call out, but no response. Even in places, it's fine. There's things I cannot say and I will not say still yet. But, all country kids and everybody else that gravitate towards, creeks and, just playing and whatnot. So that's kind of where you want to head first. If you don't know this child to really wander off or to be anywhere ever. The few times others have ever seen anything closely to that even when they speak to him, summer goes right back up. Yeah. So you've never known over to wander, be off of top of that hill. But just in case, you're like, well, the kids gravitate, blah, 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 towards, creeks, mud, interesting shit. It's kind of what kids do. It's what her brothers do. She may have followed them, so it's the points you want to check first. And they're most dangerous and vulnerable for little ones to get hurt at. So that's where you want to check first. So you make your way down to the tile. The water on the right's always like, there's really none ever there. It's always kind of dry and trickly since all the changes in the environment and all kinds of other things for like a decade before that. But you check nonetheless. You scan, you look out, it's dry creek bed almost. You don't see anything there. You get down on your knees, you look inside the tile. Summer's not in there around it or anything. You get back up, you start warming back up. You start into the part, you know, to lead to that portion, the other side of the creek. You know, and then you hear Candace and a whole ass other human being at extreme levels, whole conversation, heading down the driveway. Right, so the few feet you've gone in, you go step back out, you make your way up towards there. Candace and this other person you assume is in the vehicle get really fucking quiet all of a sudden when I say, they realize you're there, blah, blah. She pulls up. I'm like, man, I was trying to scream up at you to let you know it's there. I was already looking, not seeing her to scream earlier. I'm sorry, I didn't know. You're still going on this whole thought process yourself of, well, it's most likely she's been left behind or she's, you know, been hurt. She's here somewhere. But you knew at a certain point something was drastically wrong. Like you have those moments there, right? It's like it picked up your concern, your oh shit. It's like it would have probably stayed middle ground, you know, unless oh shit. But there are these moments, the drops, right? Like say when voices are calling out for summer, all this sort of stuff, you can hear certain people in places and as they're moving. You're trying to yell up, blah blah. And then you have the moment between Candace and the boys, and she's like, "What did you do? What did you do?" And then one answers for her and goes, "Nothing, mama, nothing, mama, I swear," which obviously implies she's blaming one, not the group, though you could tell by footsteps the whole group was there in front of her. And you're like, ah, fuck. It really does mean she's been left behind or, gotten hurt. It's been a while. So anyway, you make your way down, you do a tunnel, you do whatever, You start into the other side. You're Candace and what you later know to be Dawn on the phone, full out, full tilt. Later on, when she comes to realize it's real weird that somebody gets super silent. You can't figure out what it is and where this other human being is that should be in this vehicle. When you and Candace, come into contact, you scan the interior of the vehicle. You're like, "Hey, I heard you hollering for her. Been looking, tried to holler up at you. You couldn't hear me." Though your mind is stuck already because it was weird that people's footsteps almost as if they could indeed hear me, but weren't responding. Anyway, Candace says what she says, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty brief, quick interaction. I say what I gotta say. Dawn pops up. So I figure out he's on the damn phone. So you're telling me somebody took my baby girl? No, bitch, it ain't what I said. It'd be different if it had been an instant thought to what I'd said, but it took time in between for him to pipe up and then say that. Either way, Candace pulls off, such. And my mind goes, that was weird. Tone was weird. Everything about that was weird. That motherfucker. But you let it go. You shake it loose. Like, nah. Summer's here. She's here somewhere, man. She's just hurt. She's been like, fine. We'll carry on and look. Other neighbors, witnesses join you. Because they're standing just not far off away. You take one way, they take another. That way all bases are covered. You gotta look for prints, tracks. All of you wonder why certain people or sounds aren't heard that day. Y'all all look at each other and go, fuck's up with that? Yeah, I don't know. At the time, you assume that, you know, you don't hear certain things or whatnot because certain people are busy cleaning up or, whatever. Police are going to be called. So that's probably why. But you attribute it to, at least in real time. You get real hella confused, lost, and throughout all the time. The hours, days, weeks, months. as things are said or given or told, or you hear certain news pieces eventually that go against every grain of truth you know about June 15th and what you witnessed and what you know to be fact and truth. Because you goddamn well witnessed them yourself. Heard them, you fucker. You hear the always searched everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Had this idea she was already taken, but blah, blah, blah. Excuse me? And you have this, oh, we told him to go down over, but you're like, bitch, I was there when it happened, and that wasn't your voice. And they went directly down over that hillside and towards creek to whatever, search for summer or whatever it was, but it was instantly without direction to do so. It was and it followed the seconds behind. What did you do? What did you do? Nothing, mama. Nothing, mama. They immediately crashed down, got the wood line, everything else, to head down to that side. You don't hear any goddamn directive for, hey, go down there and search for your sister. And you don't, what? No, hold up. How in the hell do you know she's already missed? Somebody's taken her, not necessarily missing, but how do you know somebody's taken her, right? Oh god, we're just hoping nobody takes them too. If you ain't even searched all of everything, that's funky, ain't it? You wouldn't even, but you let it go. What the fuck is going on here? But in the meantime, in all this period, you're also told things that make you go, well, if Ellie says so, then maybe you're wrong about not hearing shit. Take their word for it, but then the problem arises that, well, unless there are other calls to Ellie, to 911, off of that hill prior to coming into contact with Candace, there's no fucking way on earth that another party is recorded yelling for, looking for Summer. Now, is there? So then you go back again and you're like, but wait, hold the fuck up. You can't make that out of. Now, if those are indeed the only calls made to Ellie that day, or after Candace left the driveway, that one thing, even Ellie, think are on recordings. It's not possible. It's the wrong voice. It's the wrong fucking voice. And it wouldn't just be myself, but other witnesses that can back that up. But all you can do is hope that voice comparisons have been made by this point. Or hope that the public and others aren't being told everything, obviously. And if there are indeed somehow calls way before the first Summer off of that hill, but Then you wonder why the radio traffic and what's said in those scanner calls is said, if that's the case. So your bets are the actual calls did not come in until. But, there is that I threw a phone in the back of the truck thing. There is the Dawn's 5:30 thing. Right? They're all little things, right? You see Dawn and Monster and police all coming, The reason your brain eventually goes, but that flash up the driveway, hold the fuck up. If he's driving that, then what the fuck was at? And right? I bet you're in the middle of searching for summer. Your brain catalogs that. Later on is how you go, wait a minute. And you realize certain things, you know. And so your brain recognizes something's wrong with the flash. Partly. By being able to go back and go, wait. Because the little things that stick out. Also, depending on parking that day and things, vehicles and rotations and things. That there's definitely the sound at a certain 5:30 of a vehicle in that fucking driveway hard, you know. Candace eventually coming down Mama's truck. When y'all have the first and only contact that day after 6:09. Like, all these things. But only those that are up on the hill like Ellie and them can say what order and where parking was by the time they arrived. Which should show which order vehicles were being driven that day. My vehicles then came and went in the order they did that day. What's true, what's not. You know. You and the others eventually come upon the boys. Right? And that's usually where you can rely on any sense or truth to sort of shake loose. And so you ask, where's the last place you seen Summer? How long ago? And of course, the answer given to you is entirely different to what's given to Lawson not long after that, apparently. you know. But you didn't realize that Freon's, because unlike everybody else, you weren't watching her news piece, you weren't watching social media. It becomes apparent to you while you're on live, because you wouldn't say for the longest time what the boys told you. Because you were unaware that even the first night, Lawson had come out right. Said in front of a roadblock that this place made y'all believe didn't exist, that the boys said, had last seen Summer going outside. But I didn't know that for the longest time, so I held what they said back. I became aware of it on live, and I was like, well, I guess if he said so, then it's safe for me to say so. So I finally said what had been told to me. And that Ellie have always held was in my statements too, and everything else from the beginning. But you watch the rest of the community filter in this other. You kind of twitch because you're like, fuck, that many incoming. It's gonna fuck shit up that may be here and clues and whatever, but man, everybody's just trying to help. But I know there's already looked at each other and like, something ain't right here. Basically, you could. It didn't take words to look at each other and know what we were all thinking. Something ain't right here, and she ain't here. Why is she not here? Why isn't she actually just simply hurt or responding to even us? There's no way she should be able, like, to have gone anywhere to where she couldn't and be responding. Something ain't right here. Something is not fucking right here. I think in your guts, something. And it didn't take words for us, I don't think, to get that across to one another. And both of us were like, no. Didn't see all the hours and days and weeks follow after that. First few days especially are important because in those you have shit happening, like Fred making his way to everybody. You have shit moving in the darkness. You have all these things occurring all day and night. If needed, you're answering questions or whatever. As you're needed, required, as people come and go from command posts, where the fuck they come and go from, or other agencies, or then somebody forgot to ask something, or ask this, or ask that, or, you know, the first day or two, you remember looking at certain Ellie and going, the hell of amounts of traffic for shit. Certain folks now here creating chaos on purpose for so very long for some reason. Well, you're essentially told by certain people, Ellie, and see, it's one of those little sticks, right? It just jams right down in your brain. Stays there. At the time, you attribute it to one thing or whatever, but it's one of those things that just sticks. Like a little sticky note, stick pen, whatever. You're like, man, that hell of traffic, weird times, blah, 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 dope this, that, there, and you're like, looked at and told, no, 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 that's not happening. And you just sort of slow blink because you know that, yeah, it is. Yeah, it fucking is. And you're like, but, and then you're told, no, and I'm like, well, maybe not like in the past few days or something, but it definitely takes cycles. No, 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 no. And you're just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm not going to argue this point of view. And from that, you discern that someone, either you're wrong somehow, even though you know you're not, doesn't want you to speak on it anymore or say that out loud. Nah, you're like, okay, well, I guess Philly's telling me this to my face. Then there's a reason, and I should shut up entirely about it because they're doing something around all that or something, or who the fuck knows what. But the implication is, no, 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 you're wrong. But you know you're not. But for some reason you need to shut the fuck up about it. Alright, I'll do that. And that's what we did. You think, well, that's not the way they're going with this. They have their reasons. Fuck it. So we'll zip it about that traffic and truth and what we know to be real verses. But okay, we'll zip it. Now maybe this was said in that way or done. You think it's done? One thing. Also the fact that, well, ain't that the case with a great many things in there throughout the years? No, 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 no. I went to school with. No, 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 no. Don't you be saying nothing like that. Well, what do you think about them boys? Yeah, all right, sir. Just shut up. It's fine. I get it. I get it. Never mind. I, but because Summer's missing, you take it a different way, or you take it the same way you always have for decades. You know. Yeah. Especially because you know certain things. But you think, yeah, maybe there's some reason behind this why I'm giving this hint wink nod to shut the fuck up about this avenue of. Okay, sure. I'll shut up about it. Well, I'll pretend we don't know the truth. I'll shut up about it. It's cool. Got it. Got it. So then, so then, looks like you also have Don, we become aware that, obviously. And then, I think that initially because of, well, obviously Don the first night slinging towards, I don't know, Freddy Boy out there too, right? We are aware as a community that statements from Don become neighbor, neighbors, military kicking in doors, cornbread mafia, blah blah. But within the first couple days, you think, well, okay, maybe that's why that moment happened where you slow blinked because they knew Weaver Pants up there was trying to do something. So stay shut the fuck up. As time moves on, and you continue to think that, right? Sort of. All things at once, really, with that. As time moves on, you go, well, alright, maybe they knew about Weaver breaches and online shenanigans beforehand, so alright, that's why we were supposed to be like, nuh-uh, what you seeing here ain't what you're seeing here. But then why then go behind finally after fucking eons and years and whatever else, and then go set it up for that and then arrest it. See, then you're like, wait, what? What the fuck? Doing damn good and well, everybody. Fucking, I just, okay. You have these moments, these little things. They stick. The only real, it's like the other night, right? And I caught this not over there watching the three attempted murders in a virtual box there, but there's some other clip or something like that where Monster mentions a Subaru with Robin and Dodson in it. But he couldn't remember which dude was which, so whatever. But that night, and he's changed his story around that. Because that night, it wasn't just Monster, it was others being like, man, who are these freak shows out here trying to be weird and ask everybody sus ass questions and won't never detail on it. Monster was pissed. Whatever they'd said on it set off his alarm bells. He's like, man, these freak shows out here. Who the fuck are they? Whatever, right? He's like, they were even setting off bells for him to where he was like, you know, I don't get it. They're asking far too much shit, weird shit, wanting to know every detail about what's going on top of it. Like, I told them that, obviously Ellie didn't want him up there for this and the other and all this other shit, and they just had to wait, and he got a little hostile with him or something, from the way he told it. But others were like, even noticing how weird they were behaving, questions they were asking, type of shit. Now you get a different version of that from Monster. Looks like now. Okay. After, him changing his whole, well, I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? The cleansing that's happening, the strange shit. Now it's this gentle breeze upon all the people I know don't fit original. It just doesn't matter. But only piece that mattered in really any of that the other night. And I think was the confirmation of what I've said for eons. Is it Monster and the others? It's how, like later that night when Robin and him were allowed in, it's how I knew the church people had arrived on seeing it because Monster and I were at the bottom and he points to the cars going up and he goes, "That's those weird fuckers that were out there," you know? Now the other night's version had them both in the same Subaru. But that night, on the 15th, as they were finally allowed in, what you had were three Subarus, including Don and Candace's, going up the hill, one after the other, all really the same make and model, just different colors. Now, at one point in here, that was a thing, and others been like, but wait, there's no Subarus in any of their names. Now there is churches, of course. I don't know where that ever went to. But there was. But it was Monster that went. There's the weirdos that were doing that weird shit out there. And there they go up the hill. And in my mind, little sticking point goes, oh, that explains who and where they actually got the Subaru from. Got it. Matching sets, you know? Now that could be just, who the fuck really knows what the hell room? Maybe Monster was wrong in some realm, whatever, but that he even remembers to this date now when he doesn't remember much else that he did indeed see them for some reason, both of them, in a Subaru. Well, was he wrong? Was one of those somebody else's and Robin and Dodson were just in another Subaru together? And whose? Because, well, this place, as I recall, fared down and shit. Neither of those people owned a Subaru in the same make and model that Candace did, but another color. So all I can do is really go for that. But even Monster says that's what they ran still to this day. But going up the hill that night when they were allowed in, there was three. One behind the other. In a line together. All three different colors, but seemingly the same make and model. And since I never delved into and I stayed entirely away from all that, all I can do is take pieces and stuff put out nearby. Because, they were ferreting out, I think, car payments and all that shit at the time around here. And I was like, God, y'all are invasive, But in all that, they also had shit for the church members. That's the other. When it was peak when they actually gave a shit that Robin was marking out red trucks on flyers, thing. I know that to be moments because see, it wasn't here until April. But lining up the dates, I know that was correlating with certain things. Given out in the road by certain people that honestly shouldn't have had contact. But weirdly, that changed, and I caught on to some of those sticking pieces in my brain that didn't make quite good sense at the time. I was, all these things, but all these little things. but somebody fed out into the road. Certain things have been located, found. You'd NCC several days later, show you the same, like you already knew about this. And, fuck, hopefully that's it. Whatever. The only one that around those dates seemingly had a reaction to it's Robin. Because it was at those dates that Robin went about marking out fucking red truck from all flocks. But the rest of us, wasn't even the Sherfies. Well, Sherfie. Hell, he owned several red trucks. Right. A couple of the others on whatever, which none of his are the make and model that is on those flyers. But this place is went all to hell about the red truck, Weird they never hit on it. Y'all ever notice that? They hit on Robin owning and a red truck of that make and model and such. Just for a little bit. But mostly it's been hammering down on my family a red truck. I'm like, bitch, please. It's just been, it was told, like, when we were asked about these things, I immediately went, well, there's one in our, I gave them the last date of it being anywhere near the area. I was able to do so because of receipts and because I know exactly how many people ever visited 125, and that includes my family, over the course of the entire goddamn time we ever lived there. That's how very few visitors we ever had. Ever. In all those years. So I could pinpoint an exact date. I gave it immediately to the feds. I showed them on my phone. And the reason for, and it was quite a while before summer vanished. And they immediately, left me and immediately came to vet the vehicle. So all the shit surrounding us and the red truck shit was nonsensical, but y'all let in. Meanwhile, nobody ever hammers down on the others that have red trucks and otherwise. But anyway, something was fed out in that road. Days later, Candace comes where, shows me, I'm like, I already knew about this. And fuck's I got to me, other than I hope that's it. It gave us a little bit of hope. It was definitely conspiracy weirdness, like what the fuck. My thoughts were like, hell, maybe somebody that's been seen lurking in certain areas and stealing mail has stolen mail from a couple, wrongly registered certain shit, done whatever, whatever, and registered this, done that. Something ain't right here, but didn't have any reaction to it. Otherwise, it looks like certain folks did, because that's the date they start going about marking out fucking road trucks and fucking flyers. It's a hell of a lot of effort. You'd think you just left it on there instead of marking it out. Like, what the fuck kind of reaction is that? Why not just leave that? Because you don't, none of us knew, like we were shown us told this, right? That there had been one found, even though it was fucking wonky as shit, didn't make any sense, address didn't exist, register, all these other things. But none of us, it hadn't been confirmed to anybody that that was his error. We were actually told that at a certain point that it didn't count, wasn't part of anything else error. But that seeing others, but I didn't know in real time, others seemingly had reactions to that in that manner. I didn't know people went about marking shit up flyers. Why would you ever do that? Leave it on there just in case. Why would you? I don't know. It's much like Dawn feeding this place with share shit and to twist it up on purpose. And what's here and been oopsie slipped in front of y'all is that red truck shit for the high center hung, that I was like, whoa, Don, did you just hear that? I think there was a signal drop and they got that wrong. Night, where he also confessed to doing that, clearly to his sister and his blaming his dad too, and the whole thing. He was like, oh, did they? I was like, man, whoever that was. Turns out that's, I guess, chasing and sharing them. But, it was done on purpose. To mislead y'all and to make y'all think red truck, I don't know why anybody do any such thing, but my concern that night upon hearing what I thought was simply a signal drop, whoever he been speaking to, and he wanted to watch himself like Narcissus in a fucking pool of water and listen to himself. He just didn't give a fuck. I was like, bro, this could mean the difference between Summer's case, a witness not being found, located. Like, you need to call whoever it is and correct this. So they put out like a retraction. Boy, didn't I come to figure out how it works for him. I didn't realize this realm and who he's fucking with either, but. And then being able to hold the pieces to show that Sheridan clearly knew what they were doing with that misleading of, and oh, this truck wrecked on June 15th. It clearly didn't, because hell, I was the damn one that heard and seen that shit too, and knew exactly when that fucking happened that night. And I couldn't make it down there. I was too sick. And I literally climbed back in and crawled into my cabin that night. And I just let it be. Which is unfortunate. Every time I do that, something bad happens. But then the next morning, other neighbors discover it, call it in. That night I really thought it's Fred, and everybody else was like, man, but Fred wouldn't be doing this revving shit and also the crap. He would know better. He'd just leave. What the fuck, I hear a woman down there, hear all the shit, and it's like, whatever. But the next morning, it's discovered by neighbors that called in. Dawn sees it, takes a pic, runs his ass right back to the internet, seemingly make sure, put it in on purpose that that's a red truck, and that was the 15th. And no, it wasn't. A lot of motherfuckers just want a red truck gone, much like they want Summer to just be gone from the beginning. I don't get it. Everybody else having reactions to the red truck shit. Everybody else having reactions too, and it ain't the rest of us, bro. The only way in which I've ever had reactions to anything is this group falsely targeting people. Distracting from the real people who had real reactions to these things in real time. Long before we were ever public. Weird, huh? It's almost like they want you all to concentrate on all the wrong goddamn people around here. And to help annihilate and discredit and contaminate jury pools and shit against real witnesses and real people and real things. Isn't it fucking strange, eh? And then when you get down to the fact that Mullen on tape and audio, it's been out here played, says clearly he's using Benny Keys and the rest, and they're using each other in order to screw with people, target them, block and bash and whatever. Yeah, Mullen's words at a certain point, straight from Summers' thing, talking about, well, I deserved whatever. I don't know, man. Weird behavior for a dude that's about media. Only supposed to be operating in the realm of media communications, not tampering with fucking witnesses or people or anything else around Summers' case. Having them blocked and bashed. I don't know, man. Or other less than favorable encroaching YouTubers who aren't friendly to certain folks. Targeted, set up, screwed with, tampered with, lit off to where they're running down highways, damn near getting killed, potentially killed, especially if they're outside their own home zones and law enforcement doesn't know them and know they're Well, the Ernie Shell types are a little batshit, but also, well, criminal con artist type too, both things apply. But are easily triggered by manipulations in order to be set off to run down fucking highways and get tased or shot, especially by law enforcement agencies that may not know them. When you're willing to go that far with groups to target someone, potentially, possibly set off a chain of events that could get them killed. Well, I don't know about you, but is this like the mafia of media managers? Strange, ain't it? All these little things. And they stay whole laid the fuck off of. And see, I never got involved in the Carl and the bullshit or any all that crap, the conspiracy theories, the church shit, this and there, and they're so close to Cindy, it's one of those things I was like, no, I don't want to see hear it anyway, right? I'm not gonna circle that close to or speak on things or people that close to Cindy. I'm not gonna do it. You know, this place is always cleansed in that manner, but for others who are having true reactions to external stimuli and things handed out by Ellie and others around Summer's case. And those were not us. Those were never us. But I didn't know some of these pieces till I came over and then eventually come across or listen to some other shit. But thing is, you have the 2-year piece where this whole realm did not want you all to hear and see what Ansley said on News Nation. Granted, I think News Nation is a hot fucking mess. Tragedy pimp bullshit, garbage. But Ansley did indeed give you all what is essentially the only suspect list ever given. Ever. But this place, its 2-year mark. The crime, the scream from everybody, from the Don B's to the Chasings to the biggest creators here that you all watch, was that nothing new was given. Nothing new was known. Lawson was going to give a statement later. Blah, blah, blah. Truth is, you all were given something major. Y'all were finally given as close to a suspect list that's ever been given. On that list, and it's up here as my intro video thing. And the only reason I took note of it is because a little creator somewhere, and shit, I don't even remember where it got. It's one of the ones that's not really my favorite, as I recall, but maybe it is. Hell, I can't remember. I don't know. Anyway, I don't even remember where the fuck I got it from. But they had put it together in the way in which my mind, when I heard it, was like, oh, hold the fuck up. So is that maybe why the brick wall piece that never got attention or traction over here either? Right? Never could make that make fucking sense. But this creator put them together. Now at the end there's a whole bunch of batshit woo woo, but of course it always has to be the batshit woo woo far off in left field when the basic is really what matters, and it's somehow, someway, maybe the brick wall piece and this one correlate. But either way, what you got on the 2-year was actually a suspect list. And that suspect list goes as follows: Don and Candace at the top. Even after polygraphs, yep, Don and Candace. Then those close to Summer at her church. Then Candace Sr. and maybe outward to other family members. Then fourth and last on that list is neighbors. That's a hell of a big piece you all actually got for 2 years. This police buried and made y'all think nothing new was given. But mind you, this was during a cleansing cycle for other monsters around here, right? As the hive built up around, cleansed, whatever, but that's weird, huh? The shit they blind you all to. So apparently, according to Ansley, the church people and those close to Summer Church are indeed suspects, according to law enforcement. So, after hearing that, I cannot help but go, well, if Ansley says so, and she has indeed talked to Ellie, obviously, she said this on national news at 2 year mark, then I'm going to take her word for that. Just like I found it odd, the brick wall piece, so very long before that was done. Rose's picture put up on it first. Candace's photo is taken from the first interview with Ansley at the around 3 week mark, right? And then the picture of Dawn, but it's the booking photo for Dawn. Why? When they could have just stopped the same frame in the WJHL interview and taken his picture from that same one as they did Candace's. But they didn't. They chose to put up a picture of Candace looking in a certain way during a certain moment of that interview. But then they chose a picture of Dawn being his mugshot. Then, of course, they have Robin and Dotson's photo up there on the brick wall. They had, Candace Sr., blah, blah, this, brothers, etc., I don't know. But either way, what stuck was, why in the hell they put Robin and Dotson's photo up there? Hell, at that point of the brick wall piece, Dotson was long gone out of here. He done been booted after he told too much to Unmasked and others, and he realized probably something was funky. Whole changed religion, skipped it, and I can't blame the guy at the time. I was like, yeah, I don't. He probably figured something was rotten in Denmark and got all the way away from it. But why put his fucking picture up there, Ansley, when he's really not part of Summer's church, world of life? Why in the hell why is that there? And in the wording, it was vested instead of invested, which all have different meanings. Who knows? And maybe tools are tools, and the 2 year mark suspect list is just so long after the brick wall piece. But at least according to Ansley, it's 2 year mark. Second on that suspect list are those close to Summer at her church, and they place far higher than neighbors. 2 spots above even, and right below Candace and Dawn themselves, even after polygraphs. Weird as hell, huh? Every day I'd love to be able to narrow it down to just that myself, but I can't and don't. It's like this place, I hear some of the best creators that should absolutely know the basics around everything. Talk about Just Tree Cutters. There wasn't just Tree Cutters. There were several companies in there. Some to do trees, some to do brush, some to do whatever. They had several names. Uh, but they would be like, oh, the tree cutters are unlikely because of, well, their jobs. Is there actually their jobs? Much like truckers and things, these semi-transient type of jobs actually make perpetrating crimes, sort of perfect thing because they're in and out of areas pretty quick. This, they're blah blah. That's why I took exception to one of those folks saying some weird ass shit to me days after Summer vanished. Well, I was like, Ellie, this is a little weird. Am I right? Am I right? And they're like, yeah, that's what I thought. It doesn't mean I know, but I think it's common sense and logic for most. You actually have a perfect job to do shit in areas and just leave the area. I mean, look at an abundance of like fucking killers and criminals and shit that are fucking truck drivers and things. There's certain professions that actually lend to these types of things, and the way in which they're done, it's like another way to hide. Right. Commit crimes is no different in ways than those who are stationary in communities committing them, say, behind the cloak of religious leadership or scouts or, police uniforms, this and they hold a certain level of trust. They do in that manner. Then there are other criminals who seek out transient type of jobs to hide their crimes as they travel across the nation or areas, you know. But does that mean I think tree cutters, brush cutters, the others are involved? No. Doesn't, but I have to place in there for me, for puzzles, fires, likelihood of, all these things. And these people want to make that perfect storm thing. I've always said sus, but the truth is, had it been an average fucking Tuesday entirely, and for weeks not having all these perfect storms around us to then create this massive one, nobody in hell would have gotten away with taking summer and not being found immediately or instantly, right? But, and there have been less possibilities, without the property for selling the bullshit and bringing in out-of-staters, God knows who else, all this shit looking at and doing all these things. And especially, the uptick in traffic, none of us could quite pinpoint because there were not for sale signs put on or auction things or anything. Though the realtor will lie to you about that, and I got the recordings of that, and I was like, no, sir, you didn't. There was not one sign giving anyone a clue that anything was up for sale or auction, otherwise, and it was to do fuck shit because of family histories and realtor versus realtor bullshit and these types of things. That's why it was only advertised out of area and blah 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 for the most part online. And for dumbasses who are stupid enough to ever buy property sight unseen as is, right? And then not know their laws and ways of um, actually getting at it within so many hours once they show up and they realize that it's went beyond, real estate puffery, but into straight fucking fraud. Try to help a motherfucker out once again, I tell you what. You end up with a Dobbs on one line. His whole ass off. The story of my life. Tell the motherfucking truth or on a monster. And what you get is always bullshit. They don't like that shit, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's just a thing. They don't really give a shit. The rest can do whatever they fucking want to do. It was just a dream. It was just a bullshit, motherfucker. No, it was just B that chewed my ass today. Bullshit, motherfucker. Oh, but I pulled a gun on. Bullshit, motherfucker. You did. I just sit here for several years going, what the fuck are y'all lying for? What the fuck is the point here? Fucking assholes. They know when I hold receipts on all of them enough to be like, nah, y'all bunch of goddamn liars. No one even fucking cops witnessed fucking Dobbs' strange ass behavior. Like, I just, does that mean I think he's sus? No. And it's like another piece I heard via listening to another creator last night was Fred saying he's seen Dobbs at 8:30, 9:30 in the morning down there on the 14th. No, he didn't. Dobbs was not there that long on the property. He was not. He was only there for a few hours. Um, woodcutters, brush cutters had cut out early that day, but the reason we didn't pick up on his noise, the sawing of the trees is here, and even Monster should have called that out. Be like, Fred, there's no fucking way, bro. There's no fucking way he could have been there because guess what? Monster come in and I've got the receipts for it at a certain time that day. I've shown them to you all. Dobbs was not there. And y'all want to see the receipts again? I'll show you how Fred's lying once again. On Dobbs. Will it do me any good? Will y'all give a shit? Doubtful. Fucking doubtful. But you try to correct the fucking madness, right? The insanity, the chaos, the mud machine. This is at 8:30ish in the morning, right? 8:30 on the 14th. Monster was running behind that day, etc. Also, I think dentist appointments today, like um, messages at 8:58. Messages at 9:01 a.m. Right. 9/11. We're talking about shit going on down at the bottom where the tree and brush cutters have moved places. Little was reciting 580 pages of Powerpuff Girls pilot scripts to me. 9:14. Pickles and I, Pickles wanted bean kisses. La la la. Um, Monster asking me about kids' shots. What was up to date. Blah, blah. I was like, well, all his tetanus is up to date. Uh, in reference to eldest. Um, Monster was like, well, I told Austin to basically fuck off. Another person called him back on Austin's phone, was like, just hurry every chance I got, but everybody else showed up, so they need to deal. Right. Anyway, I was making sure Monster knew Eldest allergies and things. I was telling Monster to make sure they covered Eldest's thyroid during the x-rays. 9:22 a.m. Uh, talking about Dumpster Cat, which was Pickles at the time, and her enjoying her new life. Right. At 10:07 a.m., I was like, they're murdering Simpson. Right. Like Simpson, because that's the spot they'd moved to after moving from Candace and Dawn's. So I could clearly hear the tree and brush cutters. Knew it was them. Right. Now we'll move on down here to. I didn't have my card, my bank card and shit. He was at McDonald's. He's coming back cuddly. He was saying fuck it at work. Blah blah blah. Hold on. I gotta let this catch up. Right. So this is a skip over from the 14th to the morning of the 15th. Right. Right. So June 14th at 11:24 a.m. I was like half an hour between McDonald's and Zoomers, and still not done or on the way. Like, damn. Yeah, it's because, certain folks dealing with skanky people. Anyway, 11:30, Monster calls me. And then he gets his ass home. Which tells you that when he came in, because he had stopped at his parents' nearest, but this shit was about, hide the clandestine super secret cell phones and such. So anyway, um, tells you that he didn't come in to Ben Hill until after 11:30 and around noon on the 14th. Now, if Dobbs had been there present in the driveway at noon as Monster came in on the 14th, I'm pretty sure Monster would have noticed that. Right? Exactly. Yeah. Uh-huh. So you see there's Fred fucking lying again. And here is where I can line up pieces, right? Dobbs himself at a certain point. His monster's jetting in and out of the road and all this center, talking to the family. The family's calling the police on Dobbs, all that shit on the 14th. Dobbs starts flipping out when he realizes indeed the police are being called. Yada yada. Trying to make his way out before they could get in there, flipping out. Being like, no, 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 we'll say. I'm like, what the fuck is this dude freaking out? But anyway, Dobbs himself says to me that he bypassed, and I've said this before, it's not new news. Um, he bypassed going and getting the real deeds, anything else, and everything he would have needed um, from downtown Rogersville. You'd think as a buyer you'd want to do that before you hit property, but nope. He was like, GIS data, which clearly states do not go by this. This is not to replace a survey map. But nope, he didn't do that. Didn't even get his deed and shit. It's fucking stupid. So anyway, he bypassed all that. He came directly to the property and started his bullshit. He said he did not get into town till after 12. Either way, Dobbs had not been there very long when he came into contact with what amounts to and allegedly Dawn at one point, coming in early. Monster's family member who does hold ownership of the property, who told him he was in the wrong place to move. He didn't. That person sort of let it go-ish. And then eventually Monster and I come down the driveway to get stuff done for the day after we've cuddled and napped for a bit. And it's like, man, am I seeing shit? I remember our reactions to it. Monster slams the fucking truck in, like, hurts the fuck out of my neck, everything else. Loses his shit on Dobbs, right? Full tilt out the gate. But, anyway, Dobbs himself said that he didn't get in until after that. So, it places him there at certain times when he was seen by other family members, Dawn, etc. And the woodcutters and brush cutters did cut out early that day. It's why, we didn't think anything more of his sawing noises than. And why it probably didn't ring for us is, wait a minute, that's different. But granted, we were cuddling and napping and whatnot. But um, he had not been there very long on the property. And as you can see by the photos, he didn't have very much of the vehicle either. He did move the vehicle at one point from one location to another in there. He was making, after it looks like the other family member come into contact with him and told him to get his ass out of there. He was cutting all the wrong shit on the wrong places there, and he refused to do so. He wanted to make sure to cut in and insert and claim property by the method of cutting down shit, including my string lights and decorations and shit, and parking that vehicle in there real quick. That way it's like a giant fuck you between trespass and such, So it's real, whatever. That's how that dude is, man. So anyway, he was in a quick hurry to do that. So the vehicle swapped from one side of the roadway to the other. But he was not there very long. So it shows you that Fred once again lied in the three-piece of goofiness over there tonight. And that Monster didn't quite catch the fuck on to something he could have called out in real time, which is the fact that Dobbs was not and could not have been in there or seen by Fred at, oh, guess what? Whatever time in the morning there. Which, by the way, if Fred seen him on the 14th, that time in the morning, so would Monster because he was running late. He knew there was a dentist thing, so he left that driveway not long before. Yep, Fred putting Dobbs in there trying to put that three goofball piece at 8:30 or 9:30. Well, it can't be so because Monster would have seen him at that time in the morning leaving out late. And then Monster damn sure would have seen him coming back in, right? Sometime afternoon is when the other family member seen him. Dawn seen him in between, allegedly, supposedly, and that's according to Dawn and Dobbs both. And then we discovered him there mid-evening. So no, there's Fred fucking lying again to sling shit at Dobbs, saying he was already down there. Couldn't have been, wouldn't have been, blah, blah, blah. Y'all getting it yet? Alright. So, there's your proof. There's your witness statements. There are the facts. And then there are your chaos and mud makers and your bullshit that Summer is lost in here online. And otherwise. Because trust me, some of these motherfuckers have been doing this since the day Summer vanished. In real life, in real time, inside of Ben Hill. And they've continued it out here in this realm. For what reason, I can't say. I can speculate about a whole lot of things. Just a second, guys. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm back. But I mean, no, I don't try to sling anybody, bro. I don't. But I think that me questioning why in the fuck they're out here and have been out here for so long, slinging at other people and trying to help discredit, fuck with, tamper, get people hurt, harmed, trying to cast doubt for, if you're me, you have to go, why? Why are they doing it? And is it for themselves? Because they're worried about something around summer? Or is it for this group? Why? And then, unlike the others, um, I try to stick with the all possibilities are still on the table thing. And so, for me, that includes everyone and everything, all possibilities. That includes all the non average shit that was occurring around and in Ben Hill leading up to June 15th and on it. For me, when you have an abundance of people coming and going that normally are not, but that have spent weeks inside of there, or weeks coming in and out to look at certain things and all that, well, you see that places averages and stats a little higher than would be normal for other things occurring. But I do know, the possibility of that is smaller, slimmer than, other things. Which is why I'll hold with Ellie and whatever. Are you serious right now? Of course you're serious. Why are you decimating? Okay. That was a weird way to go about that, but alright. That was my cat doing funky stuff. Oh, anyway. I'll hold with Ellie too on it. I mean, even after, you know, there's gotta be a suspect pool, right? There's gotta be. Ansley at the 2 year gave as close as you'll get to one. So far, anyway. So it's like, alright, cool. You know? So I'll look there at all in ways, you know, and wonder and burn the fires and puzzles and things to do. Um, but I'm not gonna come out here and throw shit and go, oh, well, this one's super fucking guilty or they did X, but I'm not gonna do it. You know? I'm definitely not gonna go blaming dead people or, you know, trying to force and cast out on certain folks. Not even, those most likely to be, though, a little harder, I guess, on some. But, you know, after the shit that's been done and said, and you really have to wonder why. If you're me, at least, for sure. And then you should probably be looking at that a little harder and placing things where they go. And so that's probably why it seems like a little harder on others than some. But when you know people in real life to be a bunch of set-up-y type of motherfuckers, for many throughout the community over all the years, you know, that's why you couldn't really disagree with Fred at first. And you thought, well, he probably ain't wrong. People may be trying to do that. Hell, I don't know. But you found shit wrong with Fred and I mean, just all these things, you know, at first. But then later you're like, but you have to splinter yourself and remember the way you thought about it, felt about it at the beginning, and also be able to place that side by side with how you feel now. And knowing there are new pieces, new this, new that, and being able to compare the two, and, you know, just splinter and walk both ways at the same time. Yeah. And those who do this fuckery, right? That do indeed do shit on purpose for all their own little evil things and have since June 15th forward and before and after and all these things. It's like, I heard a bit via the creators. Monster going, oh, well, I'm having to defend somebody even though. Well, Cloak Boy, where'd you get that line from? Huh? Yeah, fucking parrot. You and none. Squawk, squawk. Anyway, bite me. You know, just slither in my skin like CZ, of course. Anyway, so defend my ass, bro. The shit him and Stahl have done and everything else, he forgets. Because his mask is always more important. People don't know him, whatever you consider it. Blah, blah, blah. And being able to profit off of abusing and targeting us. What he's actually done with this group and everything else, blah, he forgets that at the end of the day, we're more vulnerable to shit. Say than he'd ever be on tape banging a whore at a gas station. Right? He doesn't care, though. He doesn't care. He sits with a group that has purposefully tried to make one of our children, well, both actually, because don't forget Anna and Donna and all them, trying to even say my little had done something. But he sat with his entire group the whole time. They targeted, tormented, used my children as blackmail, all this other shit, put out the worst goddamn garbage on them, tried to make them look certain ways as they're, as he sat behind the scenes the whole time, profiting off of it, helping it along. And everyone wants to come out here and was like, leave, you know. Eldest Loney, except for once when he caught Keys lying to him, bullshitting him. And he called back and was like, I see you, motherfucker. That's pretty epic. But anyway, other than that, no, it was just mindfuck of, him sitting on panels as they made fun of Little's name. And then he tried to go with their narrative. Nuh-uh, they're just trying to protect her. No, he knew better. It was them making fun of her name and all kinds of shit. He didn't care though as long as he was paid for it. But he forgets. He doesn't care. He can't see that we're actually more vulnerable to certain shit than he is or ever will be. The only thing he ever really spoken about as far as he goes is the DV shit. Wow, right? But what he's helped with is, without maybe even, no, you know what? It's so many goddamn things at one time, he knows. He sat with a bunch of creators that have tried to make his son, his daughter, and I look guiltier and fucking things. And then he stands here there and tells you he's coming to my defense. Of somebody that want he really parrots my goddamn line. That's the thing, isn't it? That's how you know you're working with a fucking monster and you're hearing one. He sat here with a group, including Jason. You'll see some of the goofiest shit the other day that dumb bitch posted. That motherfucker sat and dined and broke bread with the same cunt who literally made the whole world believe the worst shit about him and falsely made you all believe I said shit I did not say and did so on purpose. Seriously. But he sat with this whole group knowing what they are, what they're doing the whole time, just like Benny, the rest. He makes friends with knowing that they've done and said what they have around eldest to us shit. He's sitting with very people he knows targets the shit out of his children, tries to make them look certain ways, and he doesn't defend any of that at all or stop it. He sits with those people, breaks bread with them, dines mightily with them, and all the money made by all of them. He ain't here to defend nobody but his own mask and his own shit, and to try to fancy himself up look like something he ain't. He's the one that has helped make all of us look sus as fuck. Follow. We've spoken on his DV shit. And then he's such an idiot he doesn't realize half the DV pieces are pieces he thinks are about him are not about him in the least. They're about pieces that have to do with everything around him. But he can only think one way in that sense. And he's helped this group make people you think what he's real heckin' sorry about doing it. Like, he's defending him. No, he ain't. He's helped inset the terror and reign of shit on all of us. He's perpetrated half of it with this group. More than half. More than fucking half. And on purpose, because it's paid and it helps be, the whole thing. Trying to even use online means this group to help get us murdered. And that's even recently. Throughout the whole thing, but definitely recently as well. Just like Fred and Bones. And the most recent version of all the shit. While he still tries to mindfuck one of our children on the daily. Seems to work every now and then, but in time. in time. That'll heal itself. All I can do is guard against it until one fine day. Either way, all possibilities, right? According to law enforcement. So I'll stick with that. But I do definitely side eye those who a bit more who seemingly had reactions to certain things in real time. Real events, real pieces, real tools, real whatever the fucks for whatever reasons throughout what we were really witnessing, hearing, and truth, and all these things in real time. June 15th and forward. I'll wonder, and I'll continue to wonder why some have the largest reactions to some of those things, even if I wasn't aware of them until later on, that they're having real time reactions to certain shit and stimuli. I wonder why it is, though. Dawn wanted to use certain things, Candace did too, until I'll wonder why inside out. The fact that even after they knew times and shit, they still used to try to wait from before people were public and the world knew. I wonder why, if it means that Dawn even had doubts in the timeline, and that's why the attempted usage of that scream twirled about and twisted to fit narratives of dog trails and shit was used, but that one always mentioned in the 5:30 thing. I'll always continue to wonder why. About bits like that. Until one day answers are had, Summers found, and just a certain. I wonder why the little things like, no, what your eyes and ears are seeing here aren't what. No, we're not going to touch on that now. You hear? I'll continue to wonder about all kinds of things from different people. Everybody from the top of that list to the bottom, everybody in between. Those who actually hold the jobs and things around all of us. I wonder a great deal many got just like I do every day and night. I wonder about all possibilities, all people in the area, even years leading up to 21 peeping toms, those trucks, the people, the bench guys, bench, yes. Those who knew our schedules dead on, creepy as hell, all the people, all these things, names, stuff you all don't even know and never will, most likely. Unless it turns out one of those are responsible. All these things I've tried to work because I hold the receipts, proof, patterns I've tried to suss out, put together, been able to locals versus non-locals and workers and different things and different years, different times, different events, different patterns. Knowing that the red truck is not the only possibility for June 15th. Knowing tools apply everywhere. You just gotta go with whatever on any given day and fire and puzzle for that. You hope on certain things that voice comparisons have been done. But if events are said to be as they are and all things are true and other things are not hidden from public or others, then those things couldn't possibly be. And you wonder, holy shit, is Ellie wrong? You wonder so many damn things. You wonder them all in order to try to get to the truth. Answers, you know? The real shit hidden behind all the fuck shit. And you try to start with the basics. Time and time again. You always take the hardest way, don't you? You just come here and make me itch. I know how you are. I know how you are. Yeah, what is it with you? No, that's mine. You've got yours. If you want ice, I'll get you some ice to put in your bowl. But you're not getting that. You're really gonna lay. Of course, you're really gonna lay. Okay, then lay down. No, no. What is? Mm, one of them days. It's a daylight coming. Mm, daylight coming to chase away the darkness. Is that it? I'm feeling happy or something. What is it? Just came here to purr about it, get some pets. Make me itch. Yeah, here. I'm gonna touch my face with that hand, and I'm really gonna. I know what's gonna happen. And this hand too. You just gotta contaminate. You ain't happy. You ain't happy unless I've got to do the full shower, change of, blah blah blah. I know how you roll. I know how you roll. Come on. I want you to come down here on this and be a co-pilot. Mm, yeah, come on. Oh, straight up Princeton. Never satisfied, are you? You're a cat, not a dove, homie. Fine. You want to lay there, lay there. Yeah, okay. Good kitty. At least it's not the keyboard. But, and I just touched my face. Good job. See, you did it to me again. Anyway, yeah, it's just one of those nights. It's just one of those nights. Just like every night, and every dawn. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna leave it here for now. I don't feel it good, and I'm gonna rest for a bit. Have some breakfast. Maybe. Maybe. Stomach's not. Ugh. You know, it's very. Mm, hearing monsters always so long, especially since December continually over the last few days. And just makes one sick. And my stomach is indeed all hell, but who knows? So, ah, and the manipulation tactics, this group and that thing, since all that garbage, leading all the way up from fucking December. Now here, leading up to the last 24 hours, so I just think it's not taking the goddamn bait either, being made to be vulnerable by, and this place taking advantage of that either. Yeah, I was talking to somebody yesterday. So I never could figure it out around here. All these super sleuths and all this here. There's gotta be manipulating the fuck out of people or trying to do this here to get certain people in certain states on purpose because they think they're gonna be triggered or more malleable or this, the other, and blah, blah, blah. Malleable for what? Fucked with and tampered with and psychologically and emotionally manipulated. For what purpose? None of it makes sense other than a bunch of Yahoo sleuths think that's the way you do detective work or something. It's all nonsensical. It's all horrendous. It's really, how many cops or feds or any of that shit ever come to me and play detective this way? Not that they had to play it. Fucking zero, man. That's how many. Because that's not how the fuck you do that shit, dude. They generally start off by being a fucking human with you, speaking to you like one, asking the basics. Oh shit. Something this group's never figured the fuck out like many monsters, right? Hey, just be a human. Just have an actual conversation. Shit, might get further. No, they're still after years doing this shit. Now, granted, they do it for many reasons. To fuck with us on a high level, break us the fuck down. Uh, when I say us, I don't even know who the fuck I mean, because you don't really see that being done to the rest. Us, it's been promised to be done. You got some of these tragedy pimps back there even studying to do so. It's only done to be doing it. And to fuck with people and to keep them in certain whatever. states together in order to continue to try to harm us in different ways. And then eventually try to do shit to bullshit and feed out content on. Try to skirt away from the shit they've done. Yeah, it's pretty gross. But I asked yesterday, I was like, man, why do they continue this shit? Why do they continue to use Monster to do this shit? Why do they continue to, try to make it like, oh, we'll get a real, like, man. And the thing is, most of them know they're barking up all the wrong trees. So it's not for that. It's not because they think anybody's super sus or guilty as far as we go. It's to do other fuck shit to us, namely me. And it's to use that goddamn piece of shit monster to do it. Over and over and over. While the motherfucker don't make a shit to June 15th. The only thing it's ever here for and mattered for is to torment the fuck out of it. It knows it's paid well for it. It's pretty gross. But from December forward, from the Ryan shit to this shit, to the Hawk shit, to the Bone shit, to the Fred shit, to the Share shit, and then what's happening over the last 24 hours, I just, manipulations there again. And certain creators going, oh, I think a certain person should hear this. And other ones going, oh, let me giggle at this. And, all this other goddamn shit. And, oh, look, it sounds sincere to me when it attempts to cry for itself. Man, there's a reason all these things are highlighted. I'm gonna pass. Again. Either way, I'm gonna try to have breakfast past all of it. And the monster damage in the ears. As one of us truly tries to defend the other in truth and facts around summer, keep them and their fucking fucked up family of twacker, dopeheads, schizo, all mental shit they all have in common from that goddamn last name forward. From fucking up or being used to see more goddamn content, mud and jello. Further fuck up bullshit in and around Summers, everything. And targeting any of the fucking others around Summer in her case who do actually mean something somewhere along. And that does not imply I'm just my kids, but many others you all don't know about. Some you do. Others y'all have already eaten the fuck alive here and helped tamper with and destroy and discredit, even though it made no sense to do so. You probably didn't even realize what you were doing. Was attempting with these creators and others from Summer's real life to destroy her case on purpose. While y'all had fun and entertainment. Love it. Glad everybody had fun. They're still having fun. I wonder if Summer's having fun. She entertained? Doubt it. Because every second you motherfuckers have done this. From the 15th forward, she's out here somewhere. God knows where. But I bet she damn sure ain't having fun. Your entertainment's costed her seconds, minutes, days, no years. Intentional mud, jello, bullshit, chaos, magnified. Bunch of freak shows from that road. Immediately in real time, slinging back and forth at one another. Trying to be the ones weirdly coming to the other ones' driveways to get info and weird shit. Making up shit, slinging shit back and forth, and all this other crap. See, it's played a role from day one. Well, they all just wanted summer to be gone, vanished, not to matter, or to only matter in conjunction where money signs were, or to hide who and what they all are. I don't know. I don't know. Just know. Guess everybody's been fucking entertained. I've not been. The community inundated, destroyed, lives changed, ways of life, jobs, this, that, and the other, taxes, even all the shit changed biology, having entertainment. They are amused. They too wonder where summer is. And they too were traumatized. They question, they burn fires and puzzles of their own. All they've been set upon too for entertainment of the masses, while others work behind the scenes to use all this bullshit to destroy Summer's case on purpose. And the real witnesses and the real people around Summer. That'd be my guess. But what's it matter, right? We just wonder more in real time about Summer, who we all really know. And the whole world just hashtags their name. Pretends their concern over a flat image that they virtue signal on. Like they do every case as they move on and do the same things over and over. Matters more than the lives of those around her in the community and the many church families and children in and out of the community. That they have a right to do this to the community's witnesses and others around these open and active cases because they can hashtag her name. And they've seen her poster. Right? Y'all hashtag her. We really know her. Everybody out here is really entertained while we're really not. But we hold all the sleepless nights, fires, puzzles, the dark nights to the sunrise. People sleep fine, go to the water cooler and talk about what they see on YouTube, though. Because, you know, entertainment. Hashtag. And then hashtag the monster suddenly said something about women and children he's abused for decades. Oh, you just seen it, girl. Hashtag the lunatic from said, "Oh my gosh, you should have seen it, girl. It was fucking wild. YouTube last night." Well, I sure do hope they find that little girl. Here, let me put on my pumps, so we can briskly walk, to our favorite little spot for lunch while our stomachs rest easy and take food just fine and talk about the latest online drama. For lunch today, while a lot of our stomachs here tore the fuck up and the floor up 24 hours a day because, well, it ain't entertainment. Hashtag that.